For nearly 3 centuries, one royal family ruled the vast empire of China. They governed hundreds of millions of people, commanded powerful armies, and lived within one of the most magnificent palaces ever built. But in 1912, their empire suddenly collapsed. The last emperor stepped down. The dynasty that had ruled China since 1644 vanished almost overnight. Yet one question remained surprisingly mysterious. What happened to the royal family after the fall of the Qing Dynasty? Did they disappear into history? Or are the descendants of China's emperors still alive today? To understand where China's royals are now, we must first understand how their empire ended. The Qing Dynasty was the last imperial dynasty of China. It was founded in 1644 by the Manchu people from Northeast Asia. Unlike previous Chinese dynasties, the Qing rulers were not ethnically Han Chinese. Instead, they came from the region that is now part of modern-day northeastern China. The dynasty's founders conquered Beijing and established their rule over a vast empire. Over the next 2 centuries, Qing emperors expanded China's borders dramatically. Under powerful rulers like Kangxi Emperor, Yongzheng Emperor, and Qianlong Emperor, China became one of the largest and wealthiest empires in the world. At its height, the Qing Empire governed nearly 1/3 of the world's population. But no empire lasts forever. By the 19th century, the Qing dynasty faced enormous challenges. Internal rebellions and foreign pressure weakened the empire. One of the most devastating conflicts was the Taiping Rebellion, which lasted from 1850 to 1864. This civil war caused the deaths of millions of people and severely weakened the Qing government. At the same time, China faced growing pressure from Western powers during conflicts such as the Opium Wars. These wars forced China to open trade with foreign nations and surrender territory. By the early 20th century, many Chinese citizens believed the imperial system had failed. In 1911, a revolutionary movement led by Sun Yat-sen triggered the Xinhai Revolution. Within months, the Qing dynasty collapsed. When the Qing dynasty fell, the emperor of China was just a child. His name was Puyi. He had become emperor in 1908 at the age of only 2 years old. In 1912, after the revolution succeeded, Puyi was forced to abdicate the throne. But something unusual happened. Although the monarchy ended, the new government allowed Puyi and his family to continue living inside the Forbidden City in Beijing. For more than a decade, the former emperor lived in the palace as a symbolic ruler without real power. Eventually, even this arrangement ended. In 1924, warlord forces expelled Puyi from the Forbidden City. His royal life was over. But his story was far from finished. After losing his throne, Puyi lived a life that few former emperors could ever imagine. In the 1930s, he became the puppet ruler of a Japanese-controlled state called Manchu. However, this regime collapsed during World War II. After Japan's defeat, Puyi was captured by Soviet forces and later returned to China. Instead of executing him, the new government placed him in a political re-education program. In one of the most remarkable transformations in modern history, the former emperor eventually became an ordinary citizen. He worked as a gardener and later as a researcher in Beijing. Puyi died in 1967. With his death, the direct imperial rule of China truly ended. But what about the rest of the royal family? Today, the descendants of the Qing dynasty still exist. Most belong to the Xinhai family, the imperial clan that ruled China during the Qing era. After the fall of the monarchy, many members of this royal family chose ordinary lives. Some became artists, teachers, and scholars. One notable descendant is Jin Yuzhang, a direct descendant of the Qing imperial family who became a government official and historian. Another descendant, Xinhai Hengdi, gained recognition as a contemporary artist. Unlike many former royal families in Europe, the Qing descendants no longer hold titles or political authority. Today they live as private citizens. Yet their heritage continues to attract global interest. So if China's royal family still exists, why do we hear so little about them? The answer lies in China's modern political system. Since the fall of the Qing dynasty, China has undergone dramatic political changes. First came the Republic of China, established after the Revolution. Later, in 1949, the People's Republic of China was founded. Modern China does not recognize royal titles or aristocratic privilege. As a result, the descendants of the Qing emperors live quietly, often avoiding public attention. But their historical legacy remains visible everywhere. From the grand halls of the Forbidden City to ancient imperial tombs across the country. The fall of the Qing Dynasty marked the end of more than 2,000 years of imperial rule in China. The emperors who once ruled the Middle Kingdom disappeared from power. Yet their descendants still walk the modern world, not as rulers, but as ordinary citizens living in a nation that has moved far beyond its imperial past. And perhaps that is one of history's most fascinating transformations. A royal family that once governed an empire of hundreds of millions, now simply part of the story of China.